Congratulations, you made it to the last day, and this one just might be the best day. So this is our glow and flow day, and you're gonna see why I call it that, because it's going to be a whole body experience. So a lot of times when I get to my restore day, I really think about making it just a day to relax and recover, and then also to do a little bit of self-care. So sometimes I'll put a mask on my face or a mask on my hair. Today I just did a really good job of moisturizing my skin and drank a lot of water, and now we're ready to flow. So start by sitting on some type of cushion. I have my yoga blanket kind of folded over. You could use a block. So just bring yourself up a little bit taller so that you keep the spine nice and straight. And then close your eyes. Let's just take 3 breaths like that. They're called falling out breaths. So take a deep inhale. And again, inhale. And then one more, inhale. And just keep your eyes closed for another minute. Feeling the vibration of your breath. Letting the shoulders fall far away from the ears. And then drop your chin down to the notch in your neck. And turn your gaze past your right shoulder. Back through center to the left shoulder. And back through center. Big circle around to the right. All the way up. And back the other way. And back through center. Take your arms out to the side and reach them up over the head, and then back down to your sides. Take up lots of room here. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, back down. Once more, inhale. And then this time, drop your right hand to the side and just stretch over with that left arm. So what I like to do is start off with a little flow, just to build a little bit of fire, a little bit of sweat in the body. It's really hard to stretch when you're just, a little bit chilly, or, you don't have any movement in your body. So we first start off, just getting that little bit of sweat movement. So sit up nice and tall, take a deep breath, inhale, exhale, twist to the right. Take another deep breath, inhale, exhale, twist to the right. Good, come all the way back up with the arms. Switch sides, so over to the right, left hand behind, sit up as tall as you can, inhale, exhale, twist to the left. And again, inhale, exhale, twist to the left. Good, and come back through center. All right, so we'll come off of our blanket or block, and I'm gonna use my blanket. I'm gonna make it as comfortable for myself as I possibly can to kneel on. If you don't have a yoga blanket, it's a good investment because you use it for a lot of things. So come onto all fours. Hands are right underneath the shoulders, and we're gonna do a little thread the needle to open up the upper body. So inhale, lift that right arm, and then thread it through. So drop the head to the ground, extend that left arm out on the mat. And just stretching here, inhaling and exhaling. If you want a little bit more work, you can extend that left leg out. It's a little bit of leverage to pull yourself around just a little bit more. Take the stretch down the side body into the waist. Good, bring that knee back in. Slide the left hand beside the face and then twist back up, reaching that right arm to the sky. Good, and come back through. Other side, left arm lifts. Good, thread the needle through on this side. Head to the ground, left shoulder to the ground. Slide that right arm out, look underneath the arm. And again, nice deep breaths here. Inhaling and exhale. Feel that twist. You can stretch the right leg out if you want. A little bit of leverage. Pull yourself around a little bit more. Take another deep breath. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back through. Good. Right hand beside the face. Push yourself all the way out and up. Good. And lower the hand down. Come right into a cat dog. So round the back, drop the head, and release. And again, round the back, drop the head. Beautiful, and release. Once more, round, drop the head, and release. And then coming to a neutral spine, take a look back towards the right hip. Come back to center. Take a look back at the left hip. And back to center. And then from here, we're going to tuck our toes and come right back to a downward dog. Slide that blanket away for now. Good. Pull up your pants if you need to. They already started sliding down. And then just press back. So I was telling my class on Saturday, in downward dog, unless you're super flexible, your heels should not be touching the ground. So if you need to take a wider stance, slide the feet back a little, bring the hands forward a little, because you should really be stretching out the back side of the legs, the hamstrings, the calves, the glutes, and then also getting that really lengthening stretch on the back. So just hold here, inhale and exhaling. Good. So using your core muscles, we're going to take that right knee and slide that right foot between the hands. Drop the left knee down, toes come down, and then just push forward. So we're stretching into that left front of the hip, also underneath on that right hamstring. This is one of my most favorite stretches. There's really not anything better than a lunge. So keep breathing, inhaling, and exhale. And then we're going to shift back for a runner's lunge. So just shifting back here and pulling back on that right foot. So sink back as much as you can here. Pull back, nice deep breath, inhale and exhale. Feels so good. All right, let's bring it forward and we'll take it into a twist. So tuck the left toe under, lift the knee, and then reach up and lengthen here, stretching with that right arm. Good, nice deep breaths. Inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the right hand on the inside. So we're going to heel toe the right foot out to the side. Come to the outer edge of the foot and stretching a little bit here. Getting a little bit into that hip. Good. And back to center, one hand on either side. So we're going to get ready to come up for a high lunge. So lifting the arms up, nice big stretch here. And then we're going to combine. So bring the hands down and lift that right arm up. So a little bit of balance, a little bit of flow. Bring the right hand down and lift it up. Nice big stretch here. And back down and lift that right arm up. Good. And back down. And lift the arms up. Good. And back down. And lift. Good. And then send it back to down dog. So already notice the hip, notice the leg of the right, on the right side, and you'll notice you probably already feel it. It's dropped lower than the left side. There's more space there. So just that little bit of work on the hips makes such a difference. Hips and hamstrings. So let's bring the left foot forward, slide it between the hands, and we'll start again. So pressing down, and we'll stretch forward. So in this position, you've probably heard this a million times in fitness. Don't let the knee go in front of the toe, things like that. If the back knee is down, it's perfectly fine to stretch this way. So if your knee is coming close or past the toe, that's really okay in this position. So keep stretching. The front of the hips is somewhere that is so tight. I know, especially with running, the hip flexors for me are really tight, so this is a great stretch. All right, so we'll stretch back, lifting the left toes. Nice deep breaths. Again. Deep breathing. Good, and bring it forward. Now that twist, so tuck the toe under, lift the right knee, stretch up to that left side. Good. Bring the hand down on the inside. We'll wiggle out so we can come to the outer edge of that left foot, just getting in a little bit of a different angle on that hip. Sometimes I like to sway or move around, see where that feels good. Good, okay, now we'll do that little balance. So lifting the arms up, nice big stretch here, arms down, and left arm up. Beautiful, bring it down, and again, both arms stretch up, open the chest, and come down, and left arm up. Good, and down. One more, up, down and stretch. Good, come back through and step that foot back. So just stretch back again. And hopefully you're feeling that little bit of space. Good, so another hip stretch here. We're gonna do pigeon. So back to the right side, draw that right knee through and just drop the knee as close to the hands as you can. Kick the right foot out towards the left side, and then we're gonna slide back. So if your hip over here doesn't touch the ground, get a block, get a blanket under there so that you can prop yourself up a little bit, make this a little bit more accessible. And then we're going to lay down and just make a little pillow for your head here. It can be on the mat with your arms extended, or like I'm showing here. And just relax into it. Good, inhaling and exhaling. Keep breathing the whole time, especially into those spaces that are tight, tense. Starting to let all of that go. Good, we'll place our hands by our shoulders. Let's just do a couple waves here. So drawing up nice and slow, extend the arms, lift the head, and fold back down. Do that again. So draw it up, and open, and flow back down. Once more. Draw it up and back down. Beautiful. We'll tuck that toe under. This time, just step it back to a plank, and I want you to just drop the hips here. So take it into that back stretch a little bit more. Draw the navel to the spine so we're not collapsing there. We're just bringing our chest between the arms, opening here. And then tuck the toes under and send it back down dog. Let's go to the other side. So draw that left knee forward. Kick the left foot out to the right side this time, and we'll bring it down. So again, pillow for your head. Like I said, if your hip doesn't touch the ground. Really prop it up there so that you have something to push into so that you can really relax. If you're kind of up in the air trying to hold yourself there, you're not going to be able to relax the way I want you to. So take the time, place the little pillow so that you can relax into this pose. And breathe again, never forgetting to breathe. There's so many different stretches that you can do. I'm showing you just some of my favorite ones, the ones I always come back to, the ones that really, really feel good. All right, nice. Let's do that little flow here. So hands by the shoulders, draw it up and bring it back down. Good, and up and down. One more. And down. Good. Tuck the toe. We'll do that little stretch again. Upward dog. So draw the navel to the spine, bring it forward, make a little bit more stretch here, and then take it back down, dog. So everyone from here, just drop your knees. Bring your chest right between the knees here and do a nice extended child's pose. Really just sink the hips, let the chest fall to the mat. Beautiful. Look forward at your fingers and just tense your fingers and sink down a little bit lower. You'll feel that into the shoulder girdle all the way through. Just breathing there. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, so the body's a little bit more warmed up here. Beautiful. So we're gonna go into a little bit more stretch, all right? So we're gonna come to that figure 4 position. And this was the position that we did those pretzel exercises in. So doing these, if that was difficult, these stretches are going to help. So we're going to bring our feet into that position. So the figure 4 position. So front leg is bent and then you have one kind of behind. So we're going to just kind of shift back and forth from either side. So I'm going to bring my knees up and I'm just going to drop them to the other side. And we're just going to do that a couple of times. So this work that we're going to do now is more about like mobility. So really increasing that range of motion. And if you read my blog post that I wrote about starting a running practice, mobility is just as important as flexibility because it increases our range of motion and lets us work more comfortably in a larger range and prevents injury. So on the next one, we'll just shift back. But on the next one, we're gonna come forward and we're going to lift up. So I want you to bring your arms to I Dream of Jeannie arms, and we're gonna try to do this with our arms in this position. So come down and then shift back. So can you use the core a little bit and bring it up? Nice job. And then come back through and lift it up. Nice work. And down and shift back through and up. Nice. And down. And come back through. Last time. Up. And then come back down. Good. Up. And come back down. Beautiful. Okay, so now bringing the hands back again, we're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee. Now notice I'm walking my hands up. You're only going to be able to walk your hands up to where that feels comfortable. So it's going to be a big stretch on that right hip and thigh. So just be gentle, do what feels good here. But stretching through that hip. Nice, chest is forward. Getting a little stretch there too. Good, and then we're gonna extend that right leg out and then pull the left foot in to touch the thigh. So inhale, bring your arms up and then twist back over that right leg and then fold forward. So grab hold of the foot, and you can just be gentle here, pulling yourself down, getting a little stretch there. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. Now grab hold of the right foot with the right hand, and we're just going to lift that left arm up and take it into a little side stretch here. So just opening up the side body. Good. And then we're going to flow. So bring the hand back, lift up and stretch back. Good. And come forward. Reach for that right toe. Lift it up and over. Good. And do that again. So press back, lift the hips up, and then come back through. Reach for the toe last time. Up and over. Good. And stretch. And bring it up. Good. And then come back down. Beautiful. So let's bring it in. And we'll do that on the other side. So we actually have to turn our legs the other way. Oops. So it's going to be this way. So the left foot in front and right foot behind. And we'll do that mobility on the other side just so we're working both sides, okay? So start with your hands down and just shift back and forth like we did a couple times through those figure four. And already I know I feel like on this side it's a little bit looser. The mobility is a little bit easier. So we're already loosening everything up. All right, on this next one, we're gonna press up to our knees. We'll find that little position with the arms so that we can flow in our little I Dream of Jeannie arms. So come back through and lift it up and back down. And come back through and lift it up and come back down. And over, back through, lift it up and come back down. And back through, lift it up and come back down. Good. And up. Nice. And come back through. Beautiful. All right, so the stretch on the other side. We'll cross the left ankle over the knee. Good, and I already know this is my tighter side, so I won't be able to walk my hands quite as far up, but that's okay. I'm gonna flex into that left foot. Just really feel that stretch. Beautiful. Feels so good. My hips are one thing that gets really tight, shoulders, so this is really gonna help. All right, let's stretch that left foot out right now. We'll come into our stretch on this side. So inhale, lift your arms up, twist back over that left leg, and just fold forward. So stretching on this side. And if those little, hip swivels that we were doing or this next flow bothers your knees, grab your yoga blanket or something like that to press under the knees. Double up your mats if you wanted to. That helps too. Good, so keep that left foot on. We'll reach that right arm up and over. Little stretch and then flow. So lift up, reach it back. Oh, feels so good. And bring it down. Touch the toe and arch it over. Beautiful, and bring it up, and arch it over, and back down, and reach over. Good. Bring it up, reach. Last one. I can stay there doing those the whole time. Good. And bring it back through. Beautiful. So I'm gonna grab my block here. It right by my side, and we're going to go into a little back stretch. We've done this many times before, so lay down onto your back and place that block up under your hips. We'll stretch a little bit into the back here. So if you're not used to stretching the back in this way, you can have the block all the way flat, which feels just as good. And what I like to do is I'll start off on this middle version here for a few breaths, and then I pop it up to the highest version for my last few breaths to just get that nice big arch into my back. And while you're here, you don't have to do anything, just soften into that block. Let the chest melt towards the mat, shoulders are sinking, just nice deep breathing. And I'm gonna take the block, I'm gonna pop it up here, all the way up. And these blocks are a little bit stiffer than I'm using, they're a little bit thicker. So I like it for these types of stretches. Other stretches, not so much, you want something a little bit softer, but they're really good support here. So if you don't have blocks, you can be using a pillow or something like that from your couch. Whatever you have around just to prop up your hips. Nice deep breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Good, so we're going to take the block back down to the flattest part. Hips come all the way down. Stretch the left leg out, and then we're going to bring our right knee in. So this is what I shared with you guys a couple weeks ago. So good for the hip flexors. I love this stretch. Amazing, just a little lift of the hips, what it does to give you that stretch. So just keep breathing, inhaling, exhaling. Beautiful. And switch sides. So send that right leg out. Pull the left leg in. Already I feel loosened up. Feels really good. Okay, and then we'll take that off. So I'm gonna flip my body around a little bit so I can show you this next one that we're going to do, because it's going to be a twist and I want you to see what I'm going to do with my arms. So bring your arms out to a T shape and we're gonna drop the knees over to the right. Okay, so over to the right, and then just turn your gaze to the left. We'll just pause here for a breath or two. Get that nice deep twist. Then we're gonna add some arms, and I just love, love, love the way this feels. So take your left arm and reach it up around. Keep it dragging on the mat all the way around, and then we're going to go back. So all the way around, really drag it, don't rush it, all the way out to the side. Good, and again, lift it up, drag around on the mat, and back through. And once more, up and around. Good. Really feeling that mobility there. And we'll switch sides. So just take the knees over to the other side. Pause here for a moment. And then same thing, we'll just bring the right arm up and around. And then bring it all the way back through. And if any of these stretches feel really particularly good, you can just pause the video and do them a little bit longer. If your body feels like it really needs one of those stretches, then by all means. Good. Up and over. Good. And you're going to come back through. Okay, so rock yourself up. So this is when I'm going to grab my foam roller. Now, if you don't have a foam roller at home, what you can do is you can grab one of your straps and you can do your leg stretches. We're all used to doing leg stretches. You know, pause there and do those for a little bit. Still really worthwhile. I'm just going to show you a couple of things that you can do with the foam roller. I'm not going to go through every exercise that you can do here, just the ones that are my go-tos that I love to do. And as I said, if one of these feels really good and if you really feel like you got some knots or something there, and you want to break up that fascia a little bit more, then just pause and stay there, and you know, work that. I'm trying to keep these all under 30 minutes or around 30 minutes, so that's why I might go a little bit faster than normal. So the first one is going to be for the quads. So what I do is I start off with both quads, and then you can go back and do one at a time if you want. And you got to work to get it in the right position. But so what I'm going to do is I'm just on my forearms here, and I'm just going to start. So I'm starting here with the upper thighs. And I'm just rolling back and forth, almost getting it up a little bit into the hip flexor and just going back and forth here. There's tons of different foam rollers that you can get, and I always say Marshall's is a great place to get some workout here. I always look in that section. All right, so I rolled out that a little bit. Now I'm going to slide it back so I can get more onto the, and you might have to come up, you know, to the hands to get the right angle. And I'm just going to go now down towards my knees a little bit here. So back and forth. Maybe come down a little bit here. And really try all the angles. I really am like an inchworm moving around, but sometimes after running, I'm really tight in some spots. And it takes a while to get to those spots, to access that area that's really tight. So feel free to inchworm, to wiggle around and get the spot that you need. Okay, so we got the quads done. Now, if you want a little bit more work on one side, what you can do is place the foam roller this way. And sometimes what I do is I'll come on the side here and kind of work it into the hip. So you can do something like that. You can do something like this where you pull it on and get a little bit into the inner thigh. Ooh, that feels really good. Try this. So bring the knee over. You're kind of on the side of the hip and just back and forth on the inner thigh. And you know, do what feels good for you. If this feels terrible, then don't do it. And you can, sometimes on the hip flexor, you can get right in on the hip flexor. And I know some of these positions are a little bit awkward, but like I said, how else can you get to those points? That feels really good on the hip flexor. Good. All right, we'll go over to the other side. So try that inner thigh one. You're kind of gonna come to the side, get the inner thigh, go back and forth here. And there's some foam rollers that have kind of like a little bit of texture to them, little like ridges. So you can, you know, get a little bit more of an intense stretch, or kind of those ridges kind of move as well, but I like this one. All right, now I'm gonna try to get onto that hip flexor there. Feels pretty good. And there is an element of discomfort, but it shouldn't be like real pain. You know, a lot of people like that feeling of the pain when they're stretching, but if it's too much, I would back off a little bit. I usually do. Okay, So now we're going to bring it on to the IT band. So this one is always the most intense stretch for me. So you're going to bring the opposite foot forward, and then you're just going to go back and forth here on this side. And same thing as the thigh stretch. It might feel better closer to the knee, or it might feel better closer to the hip. So you can kind of play around with that and see what feels the best. And then after I've done this for a little bit, what I like to do is come up, I turn around, and then the same exercise that we did on the mat, crossing the ankle over, I do that here. And oh, there's the spot. So I just get into those spots that really need it. Oh, the glute hip area. Oh. So like I said, a little bit of discomfort. If it's a lot of pain, back off a little. But it feels good, and sometimes it feels good to just kind of go back and forth here, working into that spot. Oh, a little bit more. I'm gonna have to come back to that one. All right, so let's go on the other side. Bring the left foot forward. And back and forth. Come up closer to the knee a little bit here. There's no right or wrong. Carefully bring it up. We'll do that on the other side, so across the left. Ooh, I can already feel it. So just getting a little bit into that right hip. Oh. Back and forth a little bit maybe. Good. Hopefully that felt good. So now I'm going to go right into the back. Now, if your back is a little bit tighter, what I would suggest is just having a block on the other side, because if it doesn't feel good for your back, for your head to drop back like that, a block helps because it will be a little bit, and I'm just going to turn this way so you can see what I'm doing. So my head can comfortably kind of come to the ground here, but if yours can't, put a block there. To make it a little bit more comfortable. So when we use the block under our back, we kind of got the stretch into the lower back, but this really brings it into the upper back and into the shoulders a little bit. So if this is okay and it feels good, you can stretch here. You can stay here for as long as you want. What we're going to do is lift the head, and I'm going to use my hands behind my head, and I'm just going to go back and forth. And like I said, if any of these feel good, just stay a little bit longer. You can listen to the next thing I'm telling you and just come to that next. So back and forth. And again, it might feel good up by the shoulder blades. Might feel good more to the middle back. So just play around. And then after you've had a nice little stretch there, what I want you to do is draw the elbows together. And what that does, just flattening out the back like that kind of will help you again to access some different areas that might be tight. So right there feels really good. So I'll just stay there for a moment, getting those knots out. Good. And then maybe one more stretch back. Taking that into the upper back. Beautiful. And coming up, and I'll show you the last stretch that I'm going to leave you with. And depending on how soft your foam roller is, you might not need this, but just to make it a little bit more comfortable, I take my blanket over. Oh, don't run away from me. Foam roller. Okay, and then what I do is I bring the bottoms of my feet together. I bring my body right up to touch the foam roller, and I just relax here. So like I said, if any of those little foam rolling things felt really good, go back and do them a little bit more. If you're ready to rest, you can stay here with me. Ah, this just feels so good. And I hope you are glowing after our glow and flow. And I'll see you next time.